am vengeance.
The Batman is the latest incarnation of the Batman, obviously, for reasons. But this one was directed by Matt Reeves, the fantastic director who directed three of my favourite films, the Planet of the Apes trilogy, the most recent one. And this time we have Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Now, I have to admit, the first time I heard that casting, I was unsure. But I give props to the guy. He's probably one of my favourite Batman and Bruce Wayne combos. He is 90% Batman and 10% Bruce Wayne, which is the perfect ratio. When I see a Batman movie, I don't want it to be realistic. I don't want none of that bollocks. I just want to watch a Batman film. I want to watch Batman beat the living crap out of people and do cool stuff with gadgets and stuff. And that's what we get here. Of course, it's based where he's only been Batman for a couple of years. So he's still new. He does get hit a few times. He does get knocked out a couple of times. He doesn't stick the landing when he jumps off of a building. And he's not perfect in the Batmobile, but also the Batmobile is awesome. However, joined with him is Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle and Catwoman, and she does a fantastic job. She's very believable. Her character has a really good story within it, which is all muddled up also within the storyline of the Riddler. And of course, Jim Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, amazingly, he's fantastic in this as well. Everyone's stories, of course, Jim Gordon doesn't really have much of a story besides just being there. He's a lieutenant at the minute, so he's not commissioner yet. And they're also joined by Colin Farrell as the Penguin, he is totally unrecognizable. Although I can see you can see in his eyes, if Colin Farrell just has those eyes, and you just know, and he does an amazing job. The Penguin is such a great character in this film. And Paul Dano as the Riddler as well. Fantastic villain. He is sympathetic. There's a reason for why he is doing what he's doing. He believes he's doing the right thing. And that's always the mark of a good villain. Now, of course, as Alfred, we have Andy Serkis. And Andy Serkis does an amazing job as Alfred. Doesn't have a lot of screen time, but he is there, and he does he does a fantastic job with what he's given. And this film has loads of action. It clocks in at just under 3 hours long, so it is a long film. But personally, I loved it. They managed to get a lot in the story, and even after the Riddler was caught, it wasn't over yet, and there was still a grander scheme afoot. It's not overly what's the right word to say? It's not bogged down with nonsensical bollocks that's not needed. Literally, the small amount of scenes we get with Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne are minimal and still tie into the main plot. Every single scene I saw kept rolling on with the plot. There wasn't any point where I felt that the film stalled, which was really, really cool. Didn't feel like a 3 hour long film. It felt a lot less. The sequel has been officially announced, and it's going to go into pre-production at some point soon. Which is awesome, and apparently Matt Reeves wants to do a trilogy of these, and I'm more than happy for him to do a trilogy. I'm more than happy for him to do more if each one is like the quality of this film. Hopefully we get one that the next one he's a little bit more experienced, maybe another couple of years in the future, and he's a lot more experienced and more gadgets and stuff. That would be pretty cool. But overall, the action's really good. It's very, very violent. It's very, very freaky at times. The music is amazing and very well done. Even using a B-side obscure Nirvana song, Something in the Way, which I have not heard since the early 2000s when I used to be Nirvana mad as a kid. But yeah, I cannot recommend The Batman enough. I didn't go to the cinema to watch it. I picked it up on 4K, watched it last night, and I thought, wow, this is actually a really good Batman film. People who reviewed it when it was released were not lying. It's definitely worth picking up on DVD, Blu-ray, digital, however you want to get it. And The Batman, for me, gets a solid S. It gets an S tier ranking because, in my opinion, it's one of the best Batman films we've had, and it truly captures a lot of the darker Batman comic themes like Hush and The Long Halloween and that kind of thing, So, and it doesn't overbog the film with like tons of villains. Of course, you've got the Riddler and you've got the Penguin, and you also have Catwoman in there, although she's not really a villain. it does an amazing job, and even the Penguin gets a lot of screen time. But thank you very much for watching this review. Please go and check out the Batman. I think it's absolutely incredible, and I cannot wait for the sequel. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.